So it is a big weekend then for Arsenal, who face the leaders Liverpool live on Super Sunday. Let's head to their training session where Gail Davis has been watching on. Very good afternoon, Gail. That failing eyesight tested then. You've been scouring and searching for Bukayo Saka. Any sign?
I've been doing a lot of ice training this morning, and for all those fantasy football people waiting to find out whether he should be in or out, and of course all those Arsenal fans hoping he'll be in for the huge game on Sunday. I'm going to walk out the way. He is not out. Remember, this is only 15 minutes of training that we get to watch, but no sign of Saka. Remember, he has missed the last two games with a muscular injury that he picked up whilst playing for England in that defeat against Greece. Arteta did say pre-match, didn't he, against Shakhtar Donetsk when that squad went out, that he hadn't trained this week. So key, isn't he, for Arsenal this season? 7 Premier League games, 7 assists and 2 goals. And he's just utterly relentless in attack. And he is exactly the sort of player you want in your side if you are facing a Liverpool side who are bang on form. Look, he may well make it, but on the evidence of what we're seeing, he isn't out there training at the moment.
The one thing we do know, Gail, is there will be no William Saliba on Sunday because of suspension, but potentially not the only defensive absentee for Mikel Arteta.
No, and William Saliba, as we all know, has become an absolute rock in the centre of that Arsenal defence. He's played every minute of every Premier League game since the beginning of last season, of course, sent off against Bournemouth. And just going back and having a look, it was the end of October last year, so a year ago, that he didn't line up with Gabriel in the centre of that defence. And remember, the last time that Arsenal didn't have Saliba, well, that was the run-in in 2023. They had to use the likes of Rob Holding in that position, and that it didn't turn out as Arsenal fans would have hoped, would it, with Manchester United winning the league. But it's worth noting the stats around Saliba. Win rate with him 74%, without him 45%. Goals conceded with him 0.8, without him 1.6. But they do have other options. The biggest problem, though, is some of those options are also injured, because there is no Riccardo Calafiori out there either. I remember I had to sort of wince when I watched that replay of him and that knee injury against Shakhtar on the weekend, and on the week. He's got a bit of a history of knee injuries, so no sign of him today. We will find out from Mikel Arteta how serious that is. And another concern, because he would have been an option at central defence as well, is Jurrien Timber. He's not out there either. He came off against PSG with a little bit of a muscular problem at half-time, and he's not been seen since. A little bit of good news, though, is Ben White is out there training. He can, of course, play in that central defensive position as well as right back as well. But yes, not ideal with such a big game ahead, and kind of some really, really big, tough fixtures in the next few weeks as well.
Yeah, talking of bad news as well, we're also fully aware that there'll still be no Martin Odegaard, the Arsenal captain. But there has this week been encouraging words, you would say, Gail, from his national team manager about when he might be back.
Yeah, and I would say that is in line with what Arsenal have been saying over the past few weeks as well. I was at Arteta's press conference last week, and he was asked, last week, there's 7 games before the next international break. Do you expect Martin Odegaard to be fit within and playing within that time? And he did say yes, but remember, it is since the end of August. That 1-1 draw with Brighton was the last time that the Arsenal fans watched him play, injured away on international duty with Norway, and we haven't seen him since. He's not out on the grass here, but he is closing in on a return. That weekly question will be put to Mikel Arteta, which I'm sure he's already looking forward to. But my goodness, they've really missed him in combination with Saka, because the presence of both of those players in this Arsenal team just give them that flair. They really make them tick. They've maybe been a little bit more functional, haven't they, without them? And it just against Bournemouth and even Shakhtar, in beating them, there was just a slightly more flat performance. They just look to both of those players when the sides need lifting. So Arteta would have dearly loved to have had both available. Be interesting to see, won't it, what he does with his team now against Liverpool. But I've got to stress, it's just 15 minutes we're watching, so the likes of Saka could find their way onto a training pitch when our cameras are off, and it wouldn't be the first time that Mikel Arteta has kept us on our toes, would it?